guys, and welcome to Marie's Acrylic and Gel Nails here in Central Queensland. My cuticles have all been pushed back, the shines off all my nails. I've used my Nail Clear Plus, I've used my Bond Enhancer twice to balance the pH balance. I will be using Attraction Perfect Pink, it's a sheer. I will be using NSI Universal Liquid that goes with my powder, I should say monomer. Colours I have Midnight Cruise, very, very pretty blue, and I have Midnight, and I have a white, but we'll get to that. I'll probably do that as a separate video from this. So what I'm going to do now is very, very quickly, I'm just going to put one coat of primer on all my nails because I like to do my second coat of primer as I go. So, and this just will protect the hand that I'm not working on, but I will, what I normally do is when I get to the hand I'm not going to work on, I normally go back all over it anyway. So it just depends on how long it takes, and because I've decided that I'm going to actually start this acrylic set with my right hand, and as we all have heard me say, I am very right-handed, it might take me a little while. So I'm going to get the hardest hand done first. So I've got the lid back on that. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to form my nails one at a time and then reprime. So what I'm doing is just now I'm just bending this nail as much as I can to make sure that it is going to have a really, really, really strong C-curve, because you still want that curve in it. Don't necessarily you need that. I am going to, so you can see that there's a curve in it. I am going to do stilettos, whether how long they are or not is a totally different subject. And I do say that because I don't want them super, super long, because I've got 4 weeks to grow, but at the same time I do want them to look really good and cool. So my form is on. Why I've chosen, and it's flush to my nail, to do it this way, more than anything, one at a time, it's so I don't wreck my form by having it on all my other fingers. So I'm just really, really now making sure I've got that gorgeous curve happening, the length I want, that it's nice and shaped under here. I'm going to grab my primer, I'm going to prime my nail. Now because I'm going to be using gel polish, I'm just going to do my whole nail in this perfect pink. So I'm just going to take the lid off my monomer and get the bubbles out of my brush, because you guys can't see that. And grab that hair, move my tweezers, and I'm going to pick up my first bead. So there we have it. I'm going to position it on the nail. Now, as you can see, I'm not putting it all the way down to my cuticle at this stage, because I don't want to flood my cuticle, but at the same time it's got to go down there. So I'm just patting and pressing with my belly of my brush, hoping that I'm still on cam until I'm fairly happy with that bead and how it's looking. Then I'm going to grab a little bit more, tap the extra off, because that will not, it won't crystallize properly and it will leave a mess. And I'm going to start working down my nail. For some reason I feel like I've just made a big mess. It's okay, that's what filing's for. And as you can hear, I try not to worry too much about my left hand or get upset if it doesn't go extremely perfect or the way I want it, or if they end up being a little thicker than I want. I do have all the time in the world to perfect them later on. I'm just going to bleed that bit out a little bit because I want it just there at my cuticle, but I don't want it flooding my cuticle. That's better. And this is probably not the right brush to be using. So as you can see, that's all I'm doing, is I'm going down now and I'm working my product. I am going to swap this brush out because I'm not happy. Oops. I really am not happy. I really did grab the wrong brush. And I know it sounds like I'm blaming my equipment rather than myself. But like I said, doing for anyone, if you are anyone who's doing their non-dominant hand, they would be lying if they tell you it's easy. And normally I do have an easier time, because what I've done is my right hand, I'm in that mode. And it, you know, does work a little easier. Just going to bleed that out a little. But I do want to start with my harder hand, or the hand I struggle with. So these little things that are occurring, I have all the time in the world to fix and to perfect. So I'm just strengthening up my sides, making sure they're not too thin. I want to make sure that they're even, and there's a little hole just there that I'm going to fill, just like that. Taking another ball, just a light one, and just making sure that I've got room for when I'm filing, that my point is going to be how I want it to be with these nails. It's going to be the length, and gives me room for when I am filing for any mistakes. So the nail's starting to dry up now, and I want to start to finish up. Okay. Still a bit sticky. I'm just going to clean that brush. I'm going to get out my Young's wand. I'm going to put it in my powder and get some powder on it so it doesn't stick when I'm ready. And I'm also going to change my brush out. Not that there's a lot of difference, but there is, and I'll see which brush at the end of the day I'm more comfortable with. So that should be long enough. Now I'm just going to put this pinching tool on. I'm going to give it a squeeze. Okay, so I'm going to continue on and I'll be back later. Okay guys, this is where I'm up to so far. I am going to repeat that video, my first video, where I did my pinky, because even I'm disgusted with it. So what I'm going to do is, because I've been filing as I'm going and that, I'm just going to prime that nail again while I'm just getting my nail form. And I will rip this one off so you can see what I'm going to do again, because I haven't decided. No, I was thinking of deleting it, but you know what, I think it's good for everybody to see that we're not perfect, we make mistakes. And it is so hard doing my right hand with my left hand, it really truly is. So you can see I've really put a really good curve into it. I'm just going to take it off the paper. Okay, and I'm just going to gently, so they're not touching, but make sure my shape that I've just pressed in is still there. Okay, so I've got my form sitting there. I'm going to rock it up at that 45-degree angle, making sure everything's super nice and flush. I'm just going to secure those sides down a little bit now. I'm going to get that middle tab and I'm going to secure it. Then I'm going to close my end. I haven't closed these ones yet. And what I'm going to do is, under that black line there, I'm just going to come along and gently press and make sure that the bottom of the form now is all closed and lined up and where it should be. Okay, now I'm going to close these top tabs. And there's my shape for my stiletto. Super long. So this should be interesting. So I'm just taking my lid off my powder. I'm going to now prime that nail so it's a bit wet to help adhesion when I'm gluing this. Well, it helped the adhesion of the acrylic as I'm placing it. So I'm just very gently manoeuvring my acrylic down towards my cuticle, making sure I don't flood everything, but it's all nicely, I don't want that to come undone, but it's all fairly good. I'm just going to grab another small bead and bleed it out a bit, and I'm just going to come here because I can see that my acrylic didn't reach here. And just flush it out of my cuticle. I'm just smoothing that now out. I'm going to grab a larger ball and I'm going to place it just here on my nail, and I'm going to start spreading that down. That's going to give me my strength just there. I will blend it down this way a little bit. And again, Guys, this is my left hand. It is far from a perfect application. Really, like the rest of you and every other nail technician out there, with practice you get better with it. Those who watch my channel know that I personally wear a lot of gel. I mean, I do have a high client base of acrylic, but personally I don't wear it. I have chosen it for a couple of reasons. A, because I really needed it. It was about time I did another acrylic tutorial. And B, I want its strength while I'm away. And because I am doing such long nails, and if I do have any issues, I will take probably a file and one of my acrylic mani bowls down with me down to Brisbane, so that if I do have any issues at the end of the day, I can just soak them all off. Because I'm certainly not going to pay for one of the chop shops to touch my nails, because they just, the horror stories I hear from customers and clients that, you know, they all have tips put on and they just peel them off. And I'm like, excuse you? Why are they peeling off nails like that? They do so much damage to the nail plate, I just cannot believe it. So I did want something that, if I do have an issue with strength, or honestly they just really annoy the crap out of me because they are so super long, at the end of the day, as long as I have them on when I go down to Bathurst, they can be removed. I'm lucky for my hospital stuff, I don't have to remove them because I'm not having a surgery or anything like that. And if I was, unfortunately they wouldn't let me keep them, because they use your nail plate as an indicator of oxygen in your bloodstream and stuff like that, and that's why they tell you when you go to have surgeries, why not to come in with nail polish and to remove it, and why to remove all acrylics and gels and stuff like that. So, and I also find, or have found from personally, like when I'm going and having the IV lig, it can interrupt with their finger pulse monitors, so it doesn't make them terribly happy when it happens. Normally they get crabby with me, because, you know, the first time it's like, yep, we didn't know. Second and third time it's like, you know, really. But I just go, well, I have toes, put it on my toes. Normally have to hang around for a while when I'm down in Brisbane having procedure, so I like to look my best so I can go and visit friends and family members and stuff. So I'm pretty happy now, and I hope it's on cam. I'm pretty happy that I've got probably way too much acrylic. It is a little on the thick side, that's okay. I've got a file, which I seem to feel like I've been doing a lot of. I'm just waiting for it to start to go matte and it's not so sticky. I'm just going to put my wand in some powder. And I am pinching these nails, so I'm getting a really beautiful shape underneath as well. So, and I really want these nails to be a really big standout for me. I don't normally wear my stilettos this long, so it's important to me. I'm just going to get, this is an aftermarket one. This is the first pinching tool I actually bought, and I bought it from the UK. And what I find is, like this one I got from Young Nails, it's really easy to open, and this one really does clamp down, and really, you know, you're being pinched. And I don't normally use this on my clients, that one. But for these, I am, because I really want to make sure that they're really well pinched. So I'm just going to grab my form now, and let's go from under here first. I'm just going to remove it from there and pull him off. So my first thing I would be doing now that it's rock hard, is that I'll be filing straight from the side walls and getting off that excess acrylic. I've got my lids back on my powders and my monomer, so I will be cleaning up my free edges. This one I'm going to have to take my drill to, and I will file, shape it, and I'll come back when when I'm doing this hand. I'll do a couple on this hand, which will be way better than what's been happening on my left hand. Although I do have to say, this nail is not as bad as, say, this one or this one, and definitely not as bad as that one. So I'm not going to have a lot of filing and cleaning up with this nail. I actually think I was freaking out about it being too much acrylic, all for the wrong reasons. But I have just noticed a problem, which is what I can't fix. Can you guys see that? I can fix it. And we'll do that just now together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab the end off the middle section, out of, the middle section out of my forms, and I'm just going to slide that up that edge of this nail, like so. And I'm going to then grab some beads of acrylic. Okay, you guys can see that, and I'm just going to put a little bit there. I'm just going to grab that section of form with my finger and hold it so it's flush with that side wall of that nail as it's setting up, like so. You could come back and try and clean that up a little bit too. Actually, I'm just going to manipulate it with my thumb. Okay, so then I'm just going to grab another smaller ball, bleed it off, and I'm just going to blend that through, so when I come down there to filing, it's all blended through and I'm not going to end up with this big hole. So now I'll just let that dry. So anyway, I'll be back when I'm doing my right hand, because I've only got my thumb on this hand left to do, and I'm sure you don't want me to see me do another messy left hand, but I'm still just making sure that that piece of centre from my forms is still nice and flush while that's drying up. You can come in when it's matte like that, and which is probably a better idea, and I'm just going to give that a pinch, like so, and then I'm just going to remove that. Okay guys, so it's not dry yet, so I'm not going to file, but I'll be back when everything's sorted for my right hand. Guys, welcome back to Marie's Acrylic and Gel Nails. So as you can see in my right hand, I've got 4 out of my 5 fingers done. That one might need some filing, some more filing. Anyway, so I have just primed that nail. I'm just going to get my form. Sorry, it's off camera. Okay, so I've got my form. I'm just going to give it a bend, so I get that yummy C-curve. Okay, so we've got that bend happening, you beauty. And I am sloshing it snugly, and you do want this to be as snug as possible, but not uncomfortable. So I'm just joining that middle, now my end, and now I'm just fitting it around here. I'm just checking. Okay, so now that I'm happy with my form, I'm just going to prime this nail again. I'm going to open up my monomer, and I'll move it over here a bit so you guys can see, because my left hand was such a disaster, but I will include it, just so you know that we're not all perfect all the time, and stilettos is not something I personally do a lot of. I've only done it on once or twice on customers. I've done it more on myself than a customer, but as you can see, all I'm doing is just picking up my beads of acrylic, letting them flow a little bit. Should have my finger pointed down a bit, but it's a little bit awkward at this angle. To remember to keep wiping any excess off your brush. So I want to follow this line here when I'm placing my acrylic, because that's where my natural free edge of my nail goes. So I'm just going to pick up a bead and place it just there at the end of my nail, and I am going to pat this right up as close as I can get into that, and make sure, because that's, if it's going to break anywhere or crack, that's where it's going to happen. It's a big stress point. I like to do, especially because my nails are being so long, this part in these 2 stages, so I can really see that I've got that stress point covered, and that my line coming out is nice and straight. Now I'm just going to blend all of that in with a small bead of acrylic, which would be my strength bead. And yes, I prefer to work in lots of little balls than great big balls, especially when I'm doing something I don't feel very confident in. So I'm just cleaning up my sides. I'm just going to grab some powder, wait for it to crystallise. If I put that down and didn't get this crystallised, it would create all sorts of problems. If the powder and the monomer do not mix, it can create cloudiness, and it can also create breakages. It can leave big holes when you're filing. So yes, these nails are all the one colour, and I'm doing it, this colour is Perfect Pink, and it is a sheer colour. So as you can see, these nails being all buffed up and ready for polish, it's quite a sheer pink, and my nail beds are nice and healthy, so it gives them a little bit of a rosy glow. So I'm just getting up to the length I want with this nail. I'm just coming through, making sure that I have enough bulk, but I don't want it too bulky, but I do want that strength, because these are very, very long nails. So it's important in the stress areas, that is where I want my product and my thickness. So looking down the barrel of my finger, you can see that this side just here, there's a little bit of a, not that it's a big issue, because it's probably a little thick through there, but I'm just making sure, all said and done, I want some acrylic just there because there's a bit of a hole. I don't want it too thick down towards the end, but like I said, I do need, if I'm going to wear these, I need the strength. So I've put on a little bit more acrylic than I normally do, but come down to filing, you can see they're not that thick, and they are here. They're quite thick just there, but down here they're not. They don't look heavy and thick nails, but I really need that strength through this region here, otherwise they're going to be a nightmare. So as this starts to harden, I am going to get a pinching tool. This one is so hard to open, and I'm just going to give it a really good pinch. I'm going to make sure the whole way down the nail it's pinched, nice and sleek. I want nice, sleek, long nails. Okay. And while I'm here, because I'm not quite sure what's going on there, I'm just going to, it might be an optical illusion because it's getting pretty dark here today. It's been a very miserable, overcast, cloudy day. But I'm just going to fill in some of these little optical illusions I'm having. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one looks better now. How about this one? Yep, they're all good. And because of the design I'm going to do on the nails, I do want them as sleek as I can get them. So that's this hand done. So all I'm going to do now is pull my form down and out. I'm going to undo it here and pull this end out, and it's off. So I'm not going to bore you with the filing side of it. There are so many people out there who do videos on their filing, but you guys can get the general gist of what I'm doing. I will get my drill going in a second. But what I'm going to do is shape this up to where I want it to be, nice and even, not too thick, not too thin, so that the whole month that I am off doing things, that if these nails will stand up. I don't know how I'm going to go. I don't normally wear nails this long, but I'll be on holidays, so I won't be doing normal housework and stuff like that, so it's all good. Oh, and because I will come back, but I just wanted to, before I forget, I wanted to wish you all a very, very happy Halloween. I don't really celebrate it, it's not an Australian tradition, but for all my American friends and my UK friends who celebrate All Hallows, I wanted to wish you all the best and hope that you really enjoy your holiday. Because what's the next one? Thanksgiving. We don't do that either. Okay, so I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to finish cleaning up these nails. But I just wanted to give it a quick dust so you could see the shape. And you can see here on the sidewalls it's not as thick as what you think. It just really, I have to clean it up. Looks like I put on a lot of acrylic, but in reality I haven't. It's just because I do such small beads, and some of them were extremely, probably a little bit too wet on this nail. So yeah, I'll keep finishing up and I'll meet you back soon. Okay, my nails have had a bit of a shape change from the stiletto, and I've just squared off the ends because someone did point out that we'd be staying in tents and was, when we're in Bathurst, and was having pointy nails such a crash hot idea. So the complaints got these are the finished result. Yes, they're super long, they're great, I love them, I cannot wait to be rocking these. So stay tuned, because my next video I will show you what I'm going to do with these bad boys. So, peace, love and more to you all. Hi guys, and welcome back to Marie's Acrylic and Gel Nails here. So it's time to do something with these bad boys. So I have my base coat, I have this particular gel polish, and it's very, very dark. It's called Midnight Cruise, and it's blue, very pretty blue. So, and that looks crappy because I've got dust stuck to it. So just bear with me 1 second. Well, I just cleaned that up. Something can't look pretty if it's covered in crap. So that's it there. It is a very pretty colour. And then we have this one, which is Midnight. I have a white. There is a method to my madness, so stay tuned, stay hooked, and we will go through these nails, because these are going to be for a theme, for a particular theme, and I'll take you through from the beginning to the end, but at the moment I'm just going to put the camera and base coat to my nails. Hi guys, welcome back. So on this nail I have painted the Midnight Cruise and given it 2 white stripes, and then the same on my Kinky. Now I haven't done anything for these ones yet, because like I said I'm doing these for Bathurst, and the team we're going for in the Super V8s is Ford. I'm going to do the Ford logo on this nail, and on these 2 nails I'm going to do some chrome. I just haven't decided whether I want to do the chrome coming up the nail or down the nail, and that will create my race day nails. So all I'm doing at this particular point of time is, I need to reshake my white, is I've top coated all but the white one on this hand. So now I'm moving on to my left hand, which I will bring up to this stage, and then I will come back, because you guys all know how to use a striping brush, you've seen that heaps of times. You guys all know how to paint gel polish, and you don't want to really be hanging in this watching me paint layers of gel polish. So what I'm going to do is, in a minute, I will pause this particular camera and stop this video, here, and we will come back when this hand is ready, and at the same stage as my left hand. And for some reason there is polish dripping out of the cap of my lid. Yeah, when I've got it all sorted and already at the same stages, I will come back and we will together chrome my nails, and we will paint the Ford logo on them. So that shall be cool. I'm a bit nervous about writing Ford left-handed, but I was going to do water decals and make them up and just print it off, but really it's just a word. I mean, Ford is got a white ring around it, hence why the white base that I've done, blue centre, and the word Ford in white. So it's not anything particularly complicated or anything like that. I do want to try and get colours as close as possible. I might have to mix some white and that Midnight Cruise to get close to the Ford colour, but that's all good. I'm already aware that I don't have a blue even close. So someone picked it out in nail polish, but I actually don't think that it's any different to the colours that I've already got going. So, but anyway guys, I'm going to let you go for a minute. I'm going to pause the camera while I continue painting these coats. I'll be back soon. Okay guys, welcome back. So what I have done is I have mixed a mixture of, now where is it, this blue blood. Okay, it's a light blue, but it was too light. I tried mixing them with white, and they're bad mistake. The Midnight Cruise is just not the right colour at all for what I wanted to do, but Midnight has produced this very, very, very pretty and very, very close to the blue I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little bit of it on this brush, and I'm going to paint an oval, a blue oval on this nail. And I want most of my nail done. Now what I will do is, now I'm going to remove this excess polish off my nails, because it just won't cure, and even it up a little where it needs to be, And I will just keep doing light layers of this blue until it's opaque and a solid blue on this nail. And then I will top coat the white and the blue. And then I'm going to come in with a really fine detailing brush, and I'm going to script right forward. Okay, so fairly happy that this is a pretty even coat and it's not too streaky and not too thick. So I'm going to put this in the UV light because the True Blood is a UV only polish. So I'm going to chuck it in there when it comes back out, and I finish doing the coats. I'll be back. Guys, as you can see on this nail, I've already written the Ford. That is what their logo looks like, but I didn't record it. So now I'm going to have to film this disaster on this nail. So I'm just trying to position it so it sort of matches up. Wow, sorry. Oops. I'll clean that up in a second. Okay, we'll be cleaning those mistakes up now. So I've just got another clean brush, got a little bit of alcohol on it, and I'm just wiping it off the nail. And I might just say la vie to that too, while I'm being so fanatical. I'm going to be quiet, so because I may need to fast forward this or set it at a different speed, and that makes me sound like a chipmunk. Oops. Can do the next bit. I just need to get a brush and clean up. Okay, that's better. Bloody curly words, I tell you. So this F has a curl here. Oh, crap. Yep. That'll not terribly that close, but I can work with that. So let's get rid of that little bit. I'm going to use that there to make the curl, like so. Right, and we're going to be very proud. It's not perfect. By no means is this, nor am I claiming it's perfect, but at this stage, I'm super happy I've got that much of it done. So the next thing is this O. I can work with that, and that's basically how this very slow video is going to go. Where I can, I'm just, take a brush with some alcohol or water, whatever your tool of choice is, and clean it up. Now the O, lucky for me, doesn't join, so like I said, I made that mess work for me, and then it has, oh shit, it has a line there, woohoo. And then this is the R, lucky for me it's straight down from there, and you watch, I will have done this and none of it will be in frame, it'll be just my luck. Now, the boys in my life are Ford fans, and like I said, Bathurst, we are going down to see the race. I just was out having dinner and said to the boys, I thought about doing one blue hand like I've done, and then one red and white, which is Hold'em. And I was quickly told that that hand would be sitting outside the car and wouldn't be allowed inside the car. So, I've been told. Now, this R, because it's sort of a backwards C, and that's pretty messy, what I'm going to do is use this to clean it up in a second. So, lastly we have our G, I'm sure you can all hear the TV in the background. They are actually in my lounge room watching motor racing. And when I said to them when I was coming in, I've got to do it right with my left hand, yet they laughed at me and said good luck with that. And I was just sitting here going, it would have been so helpful and nice if someone said, we'll come in and ride it for you. No such luck. And I guess I can see that would be a little bit cheaty. That's better. So what I did once on my other hand, once I had it all sorted, was I came back in with some more acrylic paint and just filled in any places that needed filling in. And I am scared crapless doing this, but I'm going to muck it up. It looks like just leave it alone, let it dry and top coat it. I mean, I know this hand's not perfect, but at the end of the day I can say, yep, they were both freehand, yep, I did them, and be proud. But when I come home, I am definitely going to start having some practices at writing letters with my non-dominant hand. And if you're thinking, well, didn't you practice before you did this? Nope. And have I ever done this before? Nope. I have never tried to write letters with my non-dominant hand. Ever. It's better. So, you can feel my frustration and my pain. Oops. It's not what I wanted to have happen there, but it's okay. Yes, and I'm sure this is making this video very, very long. So, we are going to just add a little bit more width to this stupid R that's really giving me the shits. Then I'm going to get some alcohol on my fine liner. No, it just does not have the strength. So, sorry, I've probably been doing this and have not been on cam. So all I'm doing is just trying to clean up inside this R, which I'm happy with that. Actually, I'm really happy with that. It doesn't look too bad. So, just going to add some white to my O, make him stand out a little bit more without mucking it up. Tell you what, think I was going to faint then, holding my breath like that. Nope, not going to even attempt to move. I'm just going to let that dry. So I'm just going to get rid of my... And I used acrylic paint because, yeah, I could have used gel polish, but you all got to see my struggle. And the struggle was real. And I've got to be very careful that I now don't wipe that forward off. Okay, so next I have this Elite non-wipe top coat. If I can open it. Alright, here we go. And I'm going to put, not that you'll see it, but I'm going to put 3 or 4 drops of it just here on this board. Like so. And I'm going to get a clean brush, which unfortunately this one is not. So I'll just give it a clean on a lint-free pad. Then I am going to grab some of it and I'm going to just trail it very randomly. I don't want it perfect on my nail by any means, but I do want it on my nail. So I decided to go with the bottom of my nails. So I'm going to pause the camera, and when this has dried we will be back. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've got my chrome, I've got a little applicator brush, and I have put polish or top coat where I want it to be on the nail. I don't want the whole nail chrome, but I do want this very random chrome look. So I'm just buffing it in to my nail, like so. And then I've done this hand and I've sealed, thank God, my foot before we went any further. I mean, that struggle was real, took a while, and it's not perfect. I don't claim to be good at writing with my left hand. Yes, I could have made decals, I could have done a lot of things, but for me, honestly, being able to say, hey guys, I just did that with my non-dominant hand and it's legible, I'm ecstatic. So what I'm doing is, instead of going back into my chrome, I am just picking up some of the pigment that has fallen on to the cutting board that I use, and I'm just making sure that it's all buffed in. Then I'm going to put the lid on it just for a second. I'm going to get my brush and I'm going to brush off any excess. You beauty. And then I'm going to top coat.